More than 2 decades after the Kosovo War, relations between Kosovo and Serbia remain a source of regional instability.
The reason that the region is so unstable is because after the end of the Balkans Wars, we had an empire break up into multiple pieces, new borders created, new countries created.
But normalizing relations between the two countries is a challenge that has defied European and American policymakers for decades.
Unfortunately, Serbia and Kosovo can't accept these new borders and these new histories, and they're working hard to develop ways to return to the past.
Tensions between Serbia and Kosovo date back to the 1980s, when Kosovo was a majority Albanian province in Yugoslavia. Slobodan Milosevic, the Serb strongman who would come to be known as the Butcher of the Balkans, amassed power in Yugoslavia by inflaming Serbian nationalism. Milosevic used Kosovo as a scapegoat. He portrayed himself as a protector of Serbs in Kosovo, a place that holds important religious significance for Serbs. Under Milosevic, constitutional changes rolled back Kosovo's autonomy. Many Albanians in Kosovo lost their jobs, and laws were passed to suppress the Albanian language and cultural institutions. Over the years, continued repression spurred reprisals by an ethnically Albanian insurgent group called the Kosovo Liberation Army, or KLA. Tensions escalated throughout the 1990s until war finally broke out in 1998. Over the following year, Serbian forces undertook a brutal ethnic cleansing campaign of Albanians in Kosovo. More than 10,000 people died as a result of the war. Many are still missing today, and in total, around 600,000 people were displaced. NATO intervened militarily in 1999, ending the conflict, and Kosovo was placed under UN administration. But Serbs who remained in Kosovo after the war were exposed to violent attacks and displacement. And transitional justice efforts for the atrocities of the war are ongoing. In 2008, Kosovo officially declared its independence from Serbia. However, Serbia refuses to recognize Kosovo's independence, as do Russia and China. Since 2011, the European Union has led negotiations to help the two countries normalize their relations. But the status of Kosovo's Serbian minority and recognition of Kosovo have become major sticking points in the talks. And suggestions from Balkan leaders, such as a land swap deal in 2018, only managed to inflame tensions in the region.
The reason why getting normalization right between Serbia and Kosovo is so important, it's about regional stability, but it's also about overcoming history. Serbia's acceptance of Kosovo's independence would mean that Serbia accepts a new reality and then can focus on its future. For Kosovo, in some ways, it's all about its future. It wants to be able to become a strong, independent state. So both need to accept this new history and look towards the future.
The EU and the US separately tried to restart the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue in 2020 with limited success. The Biden administration is expected to work more closely with EU partners in hopes of an agreement between Serbia and Kosovo. This collaboration will be central to finally bringing an end to this decades-long rift. Despite the short-term difficulties ahead, a new diplomatic approach will also be needed to secure the region's long-term stability.